Okay, apparently our translation works and it's going for 2 minutes. So I hope, yeah, I can hear myself. That's perfect. So we're gonna start any moment now. And then I know a couple of people are late, so they can join during my first presentation or anytime they join. All right. Alright guys, so first of all, thank you all for coming, the ones who are in time, the ones who are on the stream. We're glad to see you on the last event of ours, which is number 8. And we are excited that we actually have 4 presentations, and as usual one will be super short, and it will be right now. And then there will be 3 normal ones straight ahead with the different speakers who are nearby here. You will see them soon. So let's begin right away, without further ado, I guess. So the community that we are trying to make here in Norway, grow it together. It's called International Tech Meetups, or ITM if you want. And this is our 8th event at this venue. And what we are doing is we are trying to make a nice, convenient, high-quality platform for all of the people from the tech industry and beyond it to talk about important things on a regular basis. So that's our main focus, and I think we are slowly achieving it. We need a lot more participation. I will talk about it in further, but I think we are going there, so that is great. So what we are doing, first of all, we are experimenting with formats. So we had slightly different formats from time to time. We want to make even more different formats. We do the decentralized events, which means any of the community can actually initiate extra event and host it at several venues that we have. We not only have this venue, we have a couple of other partnerships. So if anyone wants to organize any workshop or a meetup, we can do that, we can help with that. We also want more blockchain and crypto talks. We also want more AI talks. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit further, so let's not go into that yet. And all of this, again, is community driven. We always have networking after our sessions, so people can meet and greet each other. And it could be useful if you are searching for a job or providing a job, etc., etc., etc. And of course, the world is changing all the time. So we need to follow, and we need to follow the trends, and that's what we are trying to do. So like the big goal, like the hugest goal of it all is what you can see on the screen. Basically, it's making a city of the future, and for a city of the future, we need several components that would put up, like, make puzzle of the city of the future. This is one of the components, like a discussion platform, and I'm hoping we can grow it together and make it possible to start projects together, companies together, businesses, whatever we are seeing as shaping the city of the future, whenever it's related to Oslo, or wherever it's somewhere else, wherever it's Liberstad, hi guys if you're watching us, or any other city that are considered tech-savvy, I guess. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about volunteers. First of all, thanks to all of our volunteers for helping. We appreciate it a lot. And also, we would like to say that we need more of them. So if you feel like volunteering, you're welcome. There is a link there. You can also talk to me every time. I'm pretty open, and we have a lot of things to do. They are all small things, but there's really, really many of them. So, for instance, you can see the list on the screen. We did a lot of pinpoints in here. We did a lot of partners already, as you can see, but we still need more. So if you have any of these people in mind, maybe it's your friend, maybe it's yourself, maybe it's somebody you know, maybe it's your colleague, please do speak up, tell us about them, connect us, and let's do something awesome together. So speaking about our partners, that so far we have been having, I believe, 5 or 6 partners. And our most important partner is this venue where we are, Ribble, a nice building with a lot of great companies in it. We also have a fintech partner. We have a Norwegian Unix Association partner, which helps us with streaming equipment, and also we have our media partners. We would like to have more, of course. We would like to make this logo smaller, more of them, you know, so you are free to join that as well. These are the events we hosted so far. So we have a certain plan for all the next event here in December. It should be the same platform, but of course I can announce it somewhere next week. That's the plan at least. And we will continue, and hopefully by January or February, we will make an annual gathering where we will try to make a larger event. Maybe it will be different venue, more like a networking, more like open and a longer event. We will see. This is just in planning, but it should be really great. Last couple of points is that we have our YouTube streams that are going on. We have them also archived, so you can go through the previous presentations if you see something interesting. We of course have our socials, which are linked in there, and our website, and that's it. I'm not going to bother you anymore, and we will continue right away with our next speaker. We can make a little bit of applause, maybe. Okay. So, Gaby, are you ready?
Hello. Okay, so we're a small group, so I invite you to just ask questions, comment, and I will try to invite you often to do that during the presentation, because I don't like to be the only person that is talking. And we have people here. So people, be people. Yeah? Do you agree? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dennis. Good. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Gabriela, Maria Gabriela. As you can see, I have an accent. I'm not from here. I'm from Venezuela. Do you know Venezuela? Yeah? Never from Venezuela? No. Venezuela is a beautiful country. It's very warm. That's the best thing of Venezuela. Also, I'm actually a psychologist back in Venezuela. I've been a psychologist for more than 14 years. And I've been a coach for more than 8 years. International coach. Actually, in several countries I cannot be a psychologist, but in most of the countries I can be a coach. Okay? Good. What do I specialize in? Self-mastery and leadership. So what I do is that I accompany individuals, I accompany managers, and I accompany organizations to develop leadership skills. Leadership skills is not just for business, it's also for life. And today we're going to talk a little bit about life, not just business. Do you have businesses here? Everybody is here just, we're just people without anything. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay, first question to all of us, including myself. Who are you when you feel that your world is falling down? Who are you when you feel that your world is falling down? You don't have to answer it right now, but it would be nice to just have it in the back of your head. Yeah, in the back of your head. Because we will get back to this a little bit later in the presentation. Okay. So this is, I'm going to reintroduce myself, but not just as a professional. This is kind of my life. I was having my birthday. How do I hear? Okay. Here I was having my birthday last March. Ah, beautiful. A birthday. I love birthdays. Here I was staying with this family. They're very crazy, as you can see. Very fun. Here I was with friends. And here, actually, from all of these pictures, this one that says Britney survived 2007, you can handle today. This is the most accurate one to how I was feeling back there. So, let's say that you just come to a country, right? I'm just going to be black here. You come to a country, you're very in love, you have this incredible partner, you get married, it's in the middle of winter, I arrived November 27. Everything was snowing, it was snowing. And I was coming from California. So the first thought that I had coming from the airport was, what the hell? did I leave California because of this? Everything was gray, black, and white. Yeah? I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Okay, but it's fine. I'm in love. Everything is great. But then, let's move forward maybe 3 months later. I was by myself, alone. I had only 2 weeks to decide if I was going to stay here in this country or if I had to leave immediately because I had no papers. And the relationship that I was back then was over. No family. My account was also frozen. Zero. I left everything in California before coming here because I was coming here, right? So in love, so, everything was so pink. And then, the only person that was supposed to support me during those hard times was nowhere to be found. Nowhere. In fact, if I tried to speak to that person, war was coming, and I didn't want to go to war. So, what do you think I did? What do you think let's just get yourself into that situation. What is the first thing that comes to your mind that I did? What do you think? What do you think? Just say anything. Verdad? What is that? Oh, nice. But that's not what I thought. I wish I could. But instead of that, I was crying desperately because I didn't want to go back to Venezuela. I had no money to go back to any other country. I had no family, no friends. It was winter. I barely had clothes. Which, at some point, somebody told me you need to give it back because that's not yours. Right? So cold. So it was not just a country. My heart, my body, everything. I was like completely desperate. Completely desperate. But, there's always a but. Yeah. But I was happy, right? Everything's happy, but this was a lie, kind of, back then. What is self-leadership and why am I talking about this? Self-leadership is the ability to guide yourself through adversity when external stability is absent. Zero. Self-leadership is about taking responsibility for your actions, thoughts, and emotions to achieve personal and professional goals, regardless of circumstances. What's your name? The woman that said something about life? What's your name? Marina. Like Marina said, right? Like, well, can you repeat the statement? And in yes. I would have loved, and I'm a psychologist, right? I would have loved that statement was just right here in my forefront, and I was just thriving just because of that statement. But that was not the case. When we're very emotional, that's not the case, right? We cannot think like that. What should?
What should cover?
Powers it. Perfect. Thank you. Do you want it to answer right now, or no? You just leave it there, right, in the background. Yeah. Super. 1. Acknowledge how you feel and what you need. This is a skill. This is a very important skill. And it seems like, oh, but who cares? You care. Nobody else has to care about how you feel, especially when nobody does, when you're in a situation like that, right? It would be, if you're feeling really, really lonely, then you have to address that and you say, I feel lonely. I feel sad. I feel anger. I feel happy, if that's the point, right? But what's the thing? When we name our emotions, we have the capacity to touch them. Oh, okay, this is sadness. Oh, okay, this is anger. And at some point, we can have the capacity to just let ourselves play with it. Okay, this is my sadness. Sometimes when I have psychotherapy, because I do psychotherapy, I have clients that they name their sadness as a character. Oh, here comes Igor. You know Igor from Winnie the Pooh? For example. I had one client, he used to say that that when he felt like he was being too selfish, he said that he was like Madonna. like this great artist, you know, like, oh my God, Madonna, here comes Madonna again. This Madonna side of me. That makes us feel a little bit better. Why? Because we can actually joke about it, or we can just see it from maybe another perspective. Yeah. What's the point of this? Do it without self-judgment. It's an act of courage. Second, learn to ask and receive for help. I went to lawyers. I didn't call my mom. Do you imagine my mom in that situation? Poor mom. I didn't want to call my mom. So what I did was like, okay, I'm going to call a friend. One of my dearest friends. Costa Rica. Not close. Another friend, Italy. Not close. Another friend, Venezuela. Everybody was close. Right? But those two friends kept me for at least 2 weeks without me throwing myself into the track trains, right? The toy train. I don't remember how the name of the train, where the train goes. Tracks. Thank you very much. So, yes, learn to ask and receive for help. Allowing yourself to ask for help is the moment when you realize that strength isn't about carrying everything on your own. It's about having the courage to let others walk beside you. Many people that goes into depression, for example, it's very hard for them to name the emotion, address the emotion, accept it, and also asking for help. What many people don't know is that this is an ability. You can learn it. You can learn to ask for help, and you can learn to receive help, especially receiving help. Because people can say, I can help you. No. Yeah? The next one, walk your why. Before me coming here, I made this huge painting where I paint a huge ship where my partner and myself and then maybe 2 kids in the future were there, you know? Like, I was the captain and my husband was also, we were both captains of the ship, and I painted that and I brought that with me because that was my vision. That's what I wanted to do. I came here for that. Apparently, but apparently not, right? Walk your why. Sometimes your why, or not sometimes, your why comes from your values. What I understood is that my values were connection, stability, and self-trust. How did I know that those were my values? Because my emotions told me to. When I started feeling disconnected from my partner, and I was feeling sad and desperate, what was I needing? Connection. When I felt that I had nothing, no money, no family, no friends, blah, 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 and I was like in the very black hole. Stability was something that I really needed. And self-trust was something that I really needed. When you walk your why, it's easier to take small steps. Because every small step you take, reaching out to friends, asking for help, and caring for yourself is a way of walking your why, even when you don't know all the answers. The fourth one, create stabilities in chaos with small habits. When we are in desperation or overwhelmed, we cannot make big moves. In fact, it's recommended not to make big moves. Why? Because the decisions that you can make at that moment can be decisions that can lead you to something else that could be worse, or are decisions that can lead you to see another path that is not maybe the best one for you. But small habits. So I have some questions for you, but let's skip. So small habits, right? Mm-hmm. In my case, my small habits were eat and text a friend. Those two were my small habits every day. Just keep eating, just text your friends. Just keep eating, just text your friends. And then the last one, your vision is your lighthouse. A sense of purpose can sustain us through the hardest challenges. Research in positive psychology shows that having a vision activates the brain's reward system, boosting dopamine and fostering resilience. So I have some friends that they don't believe in this visualization thing, vision thing. They don't believe in that because that's bullshit. Sorry for the word. But thanks to neuroscience, now we know that those visualizations is not just be, right? Those visualizations also help our brain to create neural pathways. That's very important. It's not just whatever practice. But also, I've been doing visualization for many years, and it has helped me not only in this situation. I had others, but I think this was like the strongest one. So, yeah. Okay. Self-assessment. And here, I would love for you to raise your hand or say yes or no. How good am I to ask for help? Raise your hand. Denise? Yeah, you did great. Super. Fail others. No, I'm just kidding. Great. How good am I to receive help? Good, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kinda, right? This is an ability. We can learn it. I was really bad at receiving help, and then I went into the other extreme of just receiving help, right? Because I could not give help to anybody. I just needed to receive. Yes. Childhood, previous experiences, um, especially experiences that you didn't process, accompanied by somebody that could actually taught you on how to trust. Asking and receiving help is a trust issue. Yeah. There's a longer answer, but it's just. Yeah. Is it easy for me to acknowledge and name my emotions? Raise your hand. Good. Is it easy for me to acknowledge my needs? Hey, I need this. Kind of this. Yeah, yeah. Okay. There are 5 emotions. No, there are many emotions, right? Have you seen the movie Inside Out? No? No? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Please see it. It's beautiful. It's an amazing movie for adults. For kids. Yeah, it's a cartoon. Yes, yes, yes. And it's beautiful. It will teach you so much about emotions. Do I know which are my values? Do you know what are your top 3 values that you actually live by every day? Do you have clarity on which are those? 1, 2? Ruti, you have them? Do you want to share?
It is simply that I always try to be honest no matter what I'm doing. Just help people in terms of whatever way it is possible. And third, I think that is the most underestimated something. Like, you smile no matter what you do. Just be happy. Don't bother about the consequences. Just be there, out there, and live. That is what I believe.
Super. So honesty, we could say service, yes, and presence. Right. Yeah. So this is an important question. Why? Because when we're dealing with very difficult circumstances, the decisions that we need to make, we cannot make them based on emotions. We need to figure out what our values are, what our vision is. Because based on our values and based on our vision, we can actually take action aligned to those. So it doesn't matter the consequences, because if you took that action based on your values and based on your vision, somehow you will find the strength to go back on that horse if you fell off the horse, right? Do I know which small habits makes me feel safe? Let's say it's the end of the world. Which small habits makes me feel safe? 3, at least 3. Why? Because when your head is so messed up and your body is so messed up, which are the 3 habits that will sustain me? And the last one, do I walk my why? Do I know my why? Or am I just walking in life like, whatever happens, I'm just like a leaf, dancing in the wind. If it goes there, yeah. If it goes there, yeah. If somebody, then I go there. What is my why? Yeah. Okay. How much points do you get? Yeah, good. We have to celebrate small victories too, right? That's another one that's not here, but that also, for me, helped me a lot. And then, again, who am I when I feel my world is falling down? Back then, I was the 2 friends that called me and text me every day. Back then, I was my habit of eating and asking for help. I was my vision, and I was her. So chubby, so cute. This is me. If you can't tell, right? Yeah, I was her. Why I was her? When we are in such an emotional roller coaster, we are usually our most genuine, intuitive, original being. We are these kids handling emotions. There is a theory that I follow with psychology, and I use it a lot. It's very practical, it's very good. It's called transactional analysis. It says that every time that we are in our emotions, we are a kid, our inner kid. And our inner kid has a lot of experiences that comes from childhood, right? So I was her. I don't know, how much time do we have? Oh, super. Okay. I don't know if you want to do this, but I'm going to invite you anyway. You can say yes or no, of course. Why I bring her? And in my family, everybody calls me Gabby. So this is little Gabby. But my dad and my mom, my dad used to call me Maria. He died. And yeah, so let's say Gabby. Gabby. I want to invite you to do a very, very simple visualization for 3 minutes. Are you up for that? Yeah? Okay. Drew to you too. Okay, super. 3, 4 minutes? No, 3 minutes. It's going to be very simple. Okay, trust me. I know you just barely know me, but trust me. Please sit in your chair comfortably. Comfortably. Yeah. Take a deep breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Close your eyes. Listen to my voice and maintain your eyes closed. I invite you to take a deep breath, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And then again, inhale through your nose. And when you exhale, just feel how your shoulders relax. And one more, inhale and exhale slowly and relax your shoulders. Imagine that you are in a black room, but you can still see yourself. All the walls around are just black. You cannot see anything else. But if you look down, you will see your feet. What shoes are you wearing? What pants or skirt? What are you wearing? Look at your hands. You can see your hands. Are they getting older? Do you have your nails painted? And touch your arm. Touch your arm and feel you. Yes, this is you in this dark room. And now turn to your right and you will see a kid. And this kid, it's you when you were younger. Look at what the kid is wearing. Look at her face. Does it have a happy face, sad face? And then kneel down next to that kid and tell that kid hi. I'm you. I'm you, and I'm here for you. While you do that in front of you both, you can see that a bridge is emerging in the darkness. That bridge is in front of you both. How is that bridge? Is it pretty? Is it scary? Is it colorful? Is it black? Is it stable, or is it just not stable at all? And take a moment to see what is after the bridge. Can you see, or is it just very uncertain? That's a bridge that I invite you to cross, to go through, to get to the other side. But you cannot go alone, you have to go with your kid. So think for a moment. What are you going to say to that kid to trust you to go through that bridge? What can you offer to that kid? Ask that kid, what do you need from me so we can cross that bridge? Listen to what your kid says. Now it's time to give that kid whatever they need. Is it a hug? What is this kid asking? What do you want to do with the kid? What do you feel you want to do with the kid? So you can both cross the bridge. If you cross the bridge with your kid, then great. And if you cannot, that's okay too. You can just stay there. Everything that comes up to your mind right now, it's okay. Now I invite you to take a very deep breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and say goodbye to the kid. And at your own rhythm, at your own pace, keep breathing, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, and start opening your eyes. Just gonna stay in silence a few seconds. Feel your body. Take a deep breath. Think about what happened. Whatever happened, if nothing happened, that's okay too. Good. In moments of desperation, change, or when the life is just messy or very, very messy, honestly, what we can do is like when we are maybe laying on the floor crying, or maybe walking down the icy road, or whatever is happening, there's always an inner world that is just ours. It's just ours. We can do whatever we want in it, and we do have people in it. Maybe it's not real people, but it's our people. It's part of our history. It's part of our anybody that would like to share, if they have something to share, what happened?
Oh yeah. When I can you hear me? Oh yeah. When I looked down on my feet, I was barefoot, and in the room that was black, it was pitch black. It was a living darkness. It wasn't dim. It was black, and I saw an aura, a light. My skin was translucent in a sense, and I don't think I was all naked, but definitely my feet. That was the first thing that came to mind. It was just, and then when I looked over to see myself, I think I discerned a red T-shirt. It was a happy face. Period. And the bridge when it appeared was very solid, stone, wide, and on the other side it was a dim lit landscape, and on the other side there was like what I could say like transcendent. It was a gleaming, it was a dreaming city. And when I asked for trust, or when the trust thing came up, we started having a conversation about what would spur us on to go there, and it looked exciting. It was is there something we started discussing potential discoveries, excitement, new worlds. So yeah, it's like basically like more or less like that. So nothing more. It's like it was quite clear. I liked it. It's mindfulness. It's the silence. It's the inner world. So I appreciate it. It was really cool. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much. Every experience can be very different, and actually, if we do this exercise different times, it can be very different too. Just as a personal anecdote, I did this exercise many years ago, and my kid was in a corner, and she didn't want to go with me anywhere. Years after, I did several ones, and years after, like my kid wants to be like on top of me, and then we can be, like playing around. But at the beginning, doing this, she was in a corner, very lonely. She didn't trust me at all. So this is also our psyche working. It's very dynamic. It can change a lot, but it's a pretty good exercise to just check on our self-confidence, check on what we need, what we want, and what our inner child needs. That usually is more than an inner child. It's not a spiritual thing. It has to do also with memories. It has to do also with sensations. Our body remembers many things. Trauma is stored in the body. So it's really important that if you want, just keep doing this exercise. Yeah. So when I had a situation with them, I did this exercise many times because I needed to feel safe in my own world, and I needed her to feel safe, to feel that me as an adult, I was able to handle this. It was an inner conversation.
Are you talking about transcendental psychology?
Transcendental psychology also talk about it, but at this moment I'm not talking about that. Yeah. But yeah, yes, there is. Yeah, of course. There's also.
Do you know that?
Yes, I know. No, I don't practice transcendental psychology. I'm not a specialist on that, but I do have a friend and colleague that does it. So that's why I know.
I'll talk to you about that in bar.
Of course, yes, of course, I would love to. Holistic psychology, that's what I do, which is a mix of different schools and alternatives. So we can talk about it. Does anybody would like to say anything else? Share something, maybe? Good. Okay. So let's wrap this up. This is me now. Self-leadership. Self-leadership begins with the smallest, most courageous steps. And I really love what you said, Marina, right? About coward. Yeah. courage is one of my favorite uh, emotional states. It's one of my favorite one. Maybe because I'm an explorer. I love to explore. I have traveled. I have lived in different countries. I love that. And I'm also I love to experiment, right? So courage. Courage is fear. That is fear walking. Courage is fear plus love. And most courageous steps, small steps. Acknowledging your pain is very important to say I'm sad, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just sad. I'm angry. I feel helpless right now. That doesn't mean that we are a victim. That just means that we acknowledge what's happening with us, and every emotion just comes and goes, right? And asking for help, and choosing to move forward despite the storm. The question is, who do you want to become, and what will you do today to take the first step? Yeah. If you remember that assessment, I'm just going to repeat it. Walk your why, name your emotions, ask for help, find your vision, and learn how to receive and to ask help. Yeah, I need to say that over and over again because it's really something that we really need to learn. So thank you very much. This was it, and thank you very much all of you for joining in this experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gabby. All right. Thank you for this awesome transcending experience, traveling with the child. That was really nice. So we can continue and switch to a little bit more tech / more grounded topic, or actually two topics in one. So I was thinking that people are kind of asking questions about AI now a lot because it's like it's a trend right now, right? So it's a big trend, and also crypto used to be a big trend, and I guess it's also a big trend now as well. So some people ask me what to do, where to go, and so on. So I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna think about it a bit more, and I'm gonna try to make all of this into like a short presentation and talk about it today. So let's see. Basically, in times of uncertainty, we all want like peace, right, or a solid foundation for our lives, but also for our savings, because our savings can basically become like make our life easier, right? So a lot of people are started searching for something, and of course, the things that are trending right now are often considered as interesting domains to look at and to take part of. So yes, and in the search for that, obvious choice would be to invest a bit of money or a bit of time, or even both. Actually, the best investment is when you do both, because if you invest a little bit of time into research, then you know that your money not gonna go to waste, right? So you invest a bit smarter. So there are so many assets to invest in, like shares, metals, startups, real estate, crypto, and of course the trends like AI is now. So how do we choose what to invest in? How do we look at this problem? How do we perceive it? And how do we try to solve this problem? So we can also ask, how do investors actually choose their strategy? And of course, it depends a lot on investor basis. So different investors use different strategies, but there are certain similarities between them. And I would say the most important one probably is Dior, which is do your own research, right? So this is the most important part in so many things, in both crypto and AI. I also need to emphasize it several times, because if you don't do it, you can get into some troubles really quickly. So how do you do Dior? I'm gonna take points a bit later. So also, we need to look at markets. So how the market work, we need to just do a little bit of analysis and metrics and research. We can look at past performance. We can look at future performance. Yes, it's a tricky thing. Like investors always say, like, never trade based on the past experience. They all say it as a mantra, and then what they do? basically trade based on the past experience because there's nothing else, right? Well, there's something maybe that you can dig up, but mostly it's a past performance, and that's totally fine. That's like how everybody does it, anyways, I think. And of course, when you look at very short term, it doesn't work at all. If you look middle term, it can work. If you look large term, then it always works. Like literally the same way all the time. Let's say 5, 10 years or more, galactic numbers, thousands of years, even better. The larger you go, the better it gets. And of course, you need to diversify because if you don't do that, you can get into troubles. That is pretty obvious. We're going to go through these points now. So for Dior, I already stopped at this procedure last time, but for those who haven't heard it, so we can say we have a certain levels of investment that we can perceive for us as a safe. I would consider like $100 as a test investment, like $1,000 as an investment, and 10,000 or more as like a more smart or like a more deliberate choice, so to say. So you can make your own strategies based on the amounts you want to invest, on the things you want to invest. You can build a lot of things, and you can base your research as well based on how much money you've got to invest. Because if you can invest a lot, you better do a good research. But if it's $100, maybe you don't need to do a large research, and I can give you some advices today already. So this is like a streamlined process. Basically, there are several steps that you can go through. This is related to crypto mostly, but you can apply it to most things. So I would say AI, basically everything is very, very similar in terms of AI. So this is more for serious check. You can skip some points if you don't like them, if you feel they're not important. But if you, the more you do, the more exact you get, the better you get, the better results you get, and you can make more informed decisions, right? Yes, so again, coming to these levels, you can decide what is small for you, what is medium, what is large, and then also you can make different sort of research depending on which size you go. I would go with medium probably, or sometimes I would go with large, sometimes I would go with small, depending on the situation of your life, where you are now, where you want to go. And of course, let's move to the next point. Speaking about market, so we need to look at the markets as best as we can and pick the most lucrative market. And basically, there are two options. The first option is just to search and find the best market studies and read the study and try to understand what it is about. If you don't have enough time, you can give the studies to AI and ask it to recoup it for you, and it will do it for you. And then you can just read the shorter version, and then you can think if you need to read the whole thing, you can also do that later. The second thing is better. Decide on your own criteria and then make your own research. However, it takes a lot of time. It could also take money or involve money at least. But I definitely recommend it if you're going with a large amount of money. If you're thinking, okay, what is for 5 years, 10 years horizon, maybe you have $100,000 to invest, then definitely you need to do a little bit more research for the market as well. So in the case with this presentation, I'm going to refer to somebody else's analysis that is already done. However, I do some of my own analysis, but it usually doesn't involve that deep knowledge. Sometimes it does, but usually it does not. So this is a little bit of a reference for the future talk that I'm going to do more focused on AI than on crypto. But let's go forward. So this is something that this company, if you just see the charts, if you Google and you see the charts, it's the same company. They are always doing the charts. And they're quite good actually, because based on them, you can actually look at the market sizes. You can actually see that crypto market size, this is for crypto, this is for AI, and you can actually see that it's like really small. Did you think about it? Like, at least how I think about it. Crypto will be connected to everything. AI will be also almost connected to everything, but not everything. So crypto is actually larger. So the potential for this market to become more than that number is higher, I think. But it might take more time because AI is hyped or overhyped. Crypto used to be overhyped, but not anymore. It's just like a thing we use now. Yes. Okay. So we can try to absorb this and think what is more lucrative for us. We can also look at the past and future performance indicators. So let's say with the crypto example, we have the BTC halving when Bitcoin reward drops every 4 years or so, right? We are at the point now where it's just 3 Bitcoins for all the miners in the world who get a new block. Okay. Also, we can look at different indicators, like let's look at the stock to flow indicator. This is a really good one. Yeah, right now the recent one. We kind of dropped from the prognosis market, but I'm 100% certain, me personally, you shouldn't be, you maybe shouldn't trust this model, but I'm almost certain we can gonna be either overperforming or underperforming, but regardless of what we do, we will follow the line, sort of follow it. So that means here is $1 million for BTC, and this is just a year after now, and Bitcoin now costs 95,000, so it's 10x. And it can do it and done it many times already. It will do it. Maybe it will take a bit longer, maybe a bit less. So it's still good investment. But what if you don't have $95,000 to invest to buy one Bitcoin? You can of course invest less in the Bitcoin, but then you get 5x or 10x on $100 investment. It's not really interesting, right? So what do you do? I'm gonna tell what you do, but a bit later. Let's also look at Elliott wave, for instance. So this is like another model that you can see. Basically, we are here now, and this is 2026 prognosis to $140,000. So it can fluctuate between which model you check, but it's about, I would say the bottom is 250,000 and top is 1,200,000. So 1,250,000. That's about where we're going soon. After that, it's going to be even higher, but it's going to take some time. This is another one. I'm not going to go deep into this, but the guys actually made it really funny because you can see like hodl, still keep accumulate by. So it's kind of funny. And this is you see the rate is going like that. So yes, we are definitely going for about 500,000 at least quite soon. So Bitcoin could be still interesting. This is another model, again, 175,000 or so. So you see different models show kind of different numbers, but they are not that far away from each other. Okay, let's wrap it up with crypto. Let's speak about AI. AI landscape, it grows like hell now. It's really grows exponentially, and you can see this is only one small area. AI agents, which is not even boomed now. It's still only growing. Left column is open source, right column is closed source, which should not actually exist. So just look at left column. And almost all of the products on the right are anyway based on the products on the left. So it's not that different realistically. So yes, and there's a link actually to these tools if you want to look at them. And I think AI agents is something we're gonna see a lot, and we're gonna use a lot more and more, because that's our second, like our personal assistant that can do online job for us, and do a lot of things, do a lot of stuff, whatever we ask it to. So we can save our time because we don't have enough time for anything now. Okay, so going back to the crypto. So is it right? It's sort of, so projects continue to evolve, ecosystems are growing, economy of the future can't live without programmable money. This is obvious. That's why I said that crypto will overperform AI, and AI will use crypto. But I think the crypto market will be larger, slightly larger. Okay, so we got a lot of ETFs, so it's official now. ETF and other models are showing growth. Do you believe them? Do you believe me? Maybe you don't believe me. Maybe you make your own model. That's also nice. Crypto experts, usually they tend to be toward greedy now, so they tend to say the market is gonna grow and it's a bull market, so that's quite good. And okay, so there's a lot of ideas around crypto now, like basic income. Some countries experiment with it, and it kind of works, and people enjoy it. Less work week, more things to do. So awesome things. And okay, so most likely crypto was a big thing, and it will be a big thing, and to continue be a big thing for several times. And everybody gonna cry Bitcoin is that when Bitcoin gonna fall to next time to 125,000, right? And it's gonna be a serious fall from like let's say 800,000 to 100,000. That's gonna happen. But we all know if we buy it with 95, we don't really care, right? Or if we buy it bought it at 10,000 or even earlier. So future of crypto, my opinion, is bright. Future of AI, similar thing. Similar ideas, similar story. So we have NVIDIA, we have all the AI companies working on the hardware, working on the software, a lot of market research around it. A lot of new horizons are open every day like this AI agent models. Companies and governments are supporting the research, and they're never going to stop. Even if all all conspirologists in the world will gather and stop the AI, it will not help. There's no stop for crypto, there's no stop for AI, nothing going to help. So you should go on board with AI, do AI research. It's too late to stop that. It's just like trying to stop education. It's too late to stop education. Same it's too late to stop crypto. Same too late to stop AI. So just you need to like get on the trend and see how you can, collaborate with these trends. I think that's the most smart thing to do. And diversification concept is the last key point here, right? So that basically means what are the modern ways to invest? We need to see and if we can can find a middle ground for this where we want to go. We want to go to the first market, AI, or to the crypto. And you can see AI is still really, really away with a lot of things. Like you can ask it 10 times to write crypto, but every AI I tried, different models, different things, even the models that say that they make text perfectly, they still write crypto. I don't know, maybe we say crypto. Do I say crypto? I still try to say crypto. But yeah, I don't know. So that may be how actually human brains work. We just have a mechanism to fix it. AI doesn't yet have, but it will of course improve. And we can see that it's gonna be better. It's already getting better, and we should definitely follow both of the markets. All right. So what's the best way to know crypto? And what's the best way to learn about AI? How to stay updated, how to get more information. Okay, I already told you, Dior. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm going to tell you. Okay, so you should find areas that are of interest for you. You should talk to people around you, to the communities. You should Google it. You should read market research. You should do Dior. All of these things. Read articles in newspapers. Maybe sign into the newspapers you enjoy. Join some events about it and see what people says. Do it sometimes, and eventually all of this data, all of this information will fall into your own research, and you can base your decision on that. One of the last things I want to say, to be trusted, any good crypto project has to be at least open source. If it's not open source, for me personally, it's out of the question. Same goes for AI. Because if AI is closed source project, we cannot know the model, we cannot know the weights, we cannot know the settings. Then what do we do with it? If somebody else's model can train it, we don't know what to do. We cannot even not only control the model, but we can't understand how it works. We can't tweak it. We can't reuse it. What's the term here? What's the sense here? So it could be a lot to digest and to think and to do research about. However, I'm gonna sum it up as the key takeaways. So I think both markets are very lucrative, very, very much lucrative. And of course, as the best investor can always say, never put all the eggs in one basket, continue Dior. And I think the both future are bright. And actually, what could be even better, you can use AI to research on crypto, and you can use crypto to stay on the bleeding edge of AI development. How do you do that? There are ways to do it. I will come back to that 2 slides later, but let's also speak a little bit about startups landscape. So startups landscape also in these two domains, right, crypto and AI. So basically, I've been working on this BPM project, and that's a project that is a package manager based on the blockchain. So it solves a security issue with delivering packages to your system. Let's say your phone, your laptop, any device you own, we can deliver through the blockchain using the blockchain node. We can deliver package from the developer to your computer without any changes, so we can verify that it wasn't changed. So we were doing that, and we use the Hedera blockchain. We're also planning to use other blockchains. So blockchain allows us to utilize and make our startup quicker, easier, like a framework for our development, right? So I had actually before talked about BPM, so I'm not gonna stay longer on that too much. However, if it's gonna work, I will show you a really short demo. Do you want to see the demo? A bit of interactive things. Okay. Let's see if it works. I really hope so. Okay, it does. I'll try to comment. So this is our, it's just clear only right now. So this is a submitting of the package. You can see BPM submit. So these are like small Rust demo that we did. And here we can try to submit the NeoFetch package to our blockchain, to Hedera blockchain actually. So this is the package getting submitted. Now, what it does, it's recorded, we just clear the screen. So let's try to install now. So this is on a different machine. Let's say that's a different machine, and we try to install NeoFetch. Of course, we can use a graphical interface in the future, but right now, okay, it's actually already installed. So you do the command install, and you run NeoFetch, and you see NeoFetch works. Okay, now let's say you want to change the status of the package. Let's say you want to mark the package as outdated, or as bad, or as a disallowed package, like unsafe package for some reason. And then you do this mutate and you change it just happened. And we now let's just remove it from the system and see, okay, now it's removed. And now let's try to install it again and see if it's gonna get installed or not. So now we're fetching the blockchain record and we see this package cannot be installed, even it stayed prohibited. So basically here we show how we can use blockchain to write something about our package that we made, then to fetch the information. Is this package safe? what is the status of the package? Where is the sources? Is the sources actually linking to the binary? So we can make this flow really easily with the blockchain, and without it, it would be pretty impossible to do it. Okay, let's try to, yes. Okay, so now we switch to AI. And how AI can help with the startup? Okay, of course, startup can utilize AI tools to do their R&D, marketing. A lot of these things are already happening, and it's great. It will be even more. Also, bootstrapping for your startup. So preparing the steps that you need to go through. Let's say you go to accelerator, you need to apply to the accelerator. There's a lot of documentation to prepare. There's a lot of steps to follow. So AI can help you with some of these steps, and it is very helpful because it streamlines, clears everything. So it is a good way to actually use AI if you're making a startup, same as crypto. Okay, so of course, if your startup is also AI related, then it's very clear path to the connection for you. Yes, so I think I do have a demo for this. Let's see if I can show you really quick, or we can. Okay, we might as well skip it for now. But basically, what this demo was is that before this presentation, what I did is I can show you later offline. I just asked AI to make me processing to check tokens in several blockchains for me. And I was thinking, is it going to do it from the first try? Because last time, every time I tried to write some code, I had to go through it, iterate over and over again until it gets to working. So this time I tried, I think I tried with ChatGPT, just a normal one, free one. And I asked it, I wrote a good description of what I want, really detailed, like 5 sentences. No, not super detailed, but 5 sentences with a lot of information in it. So I applied it, and it actually worked. It just provided me code that I run right away, JavaScript code, and it fetched from several different blockchains, fetched the balances for me. So I basically make a portfolio, and I use 10 minutes. If I would be to write it myself, even if I know JavaScript, that would never take me 10 minutes. It would at least take me an hour if I'm a good developer, if I know these things. So, yeah, I think everybody should utilize AI now, even for this concept, even for your research. This is very, very useful. Last advice. So this is what I was going to, what I was saying I'm going to be back with. So this is the link, but of course the presentation is going to be on our website as well. And this link leads to this list. There's actually 57 coins. This is a rating of research company that did research about crypto connected to AI. So in this case, if you're investing in any of these 57, or actually there's much more, but these 57 are like the most prominent. And you can see that, like, yeah, 1 hourly is falling, but daily, 7 days. So it kind of all of them are growing. And if you go through that list to the very bottom, almost all of them are green, and they will be green. Then now it's actually like altcoin season as well. So with altcoin season, a lot of altcoins will grow. But returning to the question, if you have not a lot of money but you want to try, what do? Okay, so you can go with coins that cost $0.27. So let's say you have $270. So then you can get 1,000 of these coins, and then these coins are so cheap they can easily do 100x. Maybe not in a half year, in a year, but at some point they will do 100x. The ones that will survive, and most likely the top ones will survive. So with the great market cap, you see $10 billion market cap. So until, let's say, $1 billion, maybe a couple of million, $100 million, these all will probably survive. This is a very old project. This is a very old project. So you just follow some of these, invest in some of this if you want, make your own if you have an idea that will, be better. But also, other than AI, of course, you can invest in normal crypto that are not connected to AI. This is something you can look at and think about. So links, of course, in the end, we have links. So for crypto, these are go-to platforms to do research. Pump.fun is just if you go with a small amount of money, but then this is a bit larger. And these are about normal crypto, like a large crypto. But you can go to them, you can check them out, you can check the lists, and you can also read the news. So there's a lot of things about crypto, but I would say these couple of websites are very, very important, and go to websites when you want to try to invest in crypto. Same with AI. I think I just updated this slide, so they might be a little bit messy, but these are first part. So these are AI models. This is the best websites, like a GitHub, but for AI models. And there are some other recommendations and platforms, and there are some links like that. You can Google for them. They are hosted on. I have not provided links yet, but I will update it. And a little bit more if you go to AI learning courses, things like that, Khan Academy, Google learning resources, open source publications, AI listings, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of things to look at and to try and to play with. So definitely go and look at some of these things and see if you are interested. That's it. That's it for me. And I guess the future is bright for all both of the markets and hopefully for us as well. Great. And should we continue right away? Are you ready? Yay, thank you guys. So here we go, Ruchi.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everybody. It has been very amazing presentations, both by Gami and Dan. So yeah, the presentation that I'm going to give today is about worst case scenarios and how to soften the downfall. So I've tried to regulate or summarize my years that I had in Norway. As you know, I'm not from Norway. I am basically from India, and I moved to Norway 2 years ago. Uh, so this is a sort of a story when I received that I need to give a talk, and it has to be both a bit more on my personal aspect, how my personal journey has been in Norway, and how it has been professionally as well. So I've just tried to make a combination of both of them, but how it was personally, what were the challenges, because of course there is a huge difference in the lifestyle, in the job, even your day-to-day life. Everything is so different when you move from one country to another country. And for me, the transition was basically from an Asian country to an European country. So I'm just trying to summarize everything that happened in the last 2 years, couple of years, after moving to Norway. Yeah. So, yeah, so the outline of the presentation is that it is divided in two parts. One is of my personal journey, how the challenges were, what were the challenges, how did I overcome that, and has it actually helped me even in my personal and the professional sphere, and how it is actually what I feel is the crux and how it could be beneficial for everybody in their day-to-day life. So this is what it is going to be about, and yeah, let's explore that. A bit about me. Yeah, that ruchi that you see, that is intentional, so that you remember. Yeah, just joking jokes apart. I'm Ruchi Yadav. I work as an integration consultant at an integration firm called Avila AS. We are a bunch of very technical, and I feel so grateful and I feel so lucky to be in such a company, Avila. We are a bunch of around less than 50 people, and that is the motto of the company, which I really feel, and that is something very unique to the company that I work with, that they always want to, or the intention is just to have the people that you can communicate on daily basis. It never had an idea or doesn't has a motto to expand into a giant company. The reason is that everybody knows each other. So that is what the company motto is, and that is one of the reasons why I really feel deeply connected to the company and what we do. And what we do, Avila provides integration solutions to different platforms. We use IBM, we use Microsoft Azure, and with so many technologies that are upcoming. And one of the clients or the biggest clients that we have is Tina, Aker BP, Skatetaten, and the Norwegian Armed Forces, and many great clients. These are just a couple of them to name them. Yeah. So now, worst case scenarios. This sounds very much like, okay, is it more pessimistic or is it more optimistic? Uh, the only conclusion that I could derive from my personal and the professional journey is something this. So when you search out what is the meaning of Wikipedia in technical terms, it comes out to be something like this. The worst case scenario is about a practical situation that can happen with a non-significant probability. That means there is a possibility that could happen, which might be sometimes we don't figure out, we don't count in, and again, there is a possibility that this could happen. Now, in simpler terms, what I'm trying to tell here is that in simple terms, if we see, okay, what is the meaning of worst case scenario. That is, it implies what is the worst that could happen practically. Now again, I don't want anybody to imagine, okay, there is an obstacle going to fall. No, the worst case scenario in only terms of when you're going to a new place, when you're going to start your new job, what are the things that you try to figure out when we feel nervous? For example, when I was listening to Gabby, your presentation, it was very interesting, and I was trying to relate. Is it something that even I do, or is it something that is really important when you are in a difficult situation? It is really important to have this mindset. Maybe it could be a person, like you mentioned. It could be a situation. It could be a simple thought that you always have in your mind whenever you are trying to overcome a difficult situation. Now, moving on to the first scenario. So this is more like a personal story that I have. Now, when I was moving to Norway, I moved to Norway because my husband, he used to live here and he currently also lives here. From last 5 years, he has been living in Norway. And after we got married, he asked me, okay, where do you want to live in the world? I'm open to all the options. And I was like, okay, no, you're living in Norway, you know more about it. It is really good. It would be helping me to settle in. So for me, I thought, okay, the things are already settled. Now, because I have a background that I have a PhD in electronics and communication engineering, I never thought it is going to be ever a problem to find a job. And I think I researched it, okay, what could max go wrong, that it is going to take a longer time. I learned the language eventually because I'm in IT. It doesn't require what language I speak because that is not one of the medium because we work with code. So it doesn't have to be any specific language. And then I figured out, okay, there could be some worst case scenarios that I listed. For example, okay, there could be some cultural shock because I'm coming from a different background. There could be some language barriers, limited local network. I may have many friends as I had in India, or maybe it will take some time for me to adjust in the society, and so on. So these are the predictable worst case scenarios that I had in my mind. And then recognition of credentials, because where I was coming from, I had a very settled life. So if I had to describe how my daily life or my routine used to look like, I was working as a lecturer in the university. I was a PhD research scholar. I used to start my day morning at 7 o'clock, going to the university and just starting with my lectures and then doing my research work. And then I was also a coordinator in the international relations division. And I used to manage students coming from different countries. It was pretty hectic. It was from morning 7 to almost evening. It used to even take 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that I used to go back home. It was such what do we say, a life that I didn't have time to even think about it. If somebody would even ask me if I want to die, I'll be like, no, I want some time. I cannot die now because there's so many things that are going on at the same time. But what happened was, as I moved to Norway, I was giving interviews. I thought, okay, I came during December, so it was not an on season that people want to hire somebody. And it is mostly that, okay, you can apply maybe next year. And so on, the time started to spend. And I realized that the confidence that I had that, okay, PhD, of course I'm going to get a job, was not turning out as it was expected to be. Why? I applied for so many companies. First, they were just saying, okay, Norwegian is important as a language. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll just start learning about it. And as soon as the days passed, I was not getting calls from the interviewers. And the reason was they just mentioned that whenever I used to apply for senior positions, they had a requirement that I need to have some experience in that particular field. And when I applied for junior positions, they said, okay, you're overqualified. Now, I was in such a specific situation. It was very funny at the beginning that, okay, why am I not getting? Because in which position should I apply for? I can't go for junior ones. I can't go for senior ones just because I don't have the experience. And then the desperation, the mental peace that we say started to just flow away because I was wondering, okay, this was not something that I thought about. Now I started thinking about, okay, now I'm suffering from an overqualified, underqualified situation that I don't know what is the solution for. And then imposter syndrome, I don't know if I'm even capable of doing because I had such a routine where I didn't have time to do anything. And now here I'm just sitting every day, just sending the resumes, preparing for just acing the interviews. And it is very, very difficult when you have your established career and now when you need to start from scratch. It takes a whole toll on your mental health. And then I was newly married. So then it was, okay, I'm not even able to enjoy that because it's like, okay, I'm not getting a job. And then financial pressure. Of course, Norway is very, very expensive country, as we know, to live. And then stress over uncertainty. So these were the scenarios that I actually never figured. I never imagined that this is going to be a problem. Specifically, I think the overconfidence came from because being in IT, it never feels like a problem that you're going to have when you're working with codes and you don't have to do anything with the problems. And then finally, the story concluded in a way that after 6 months, I interviewed with my current employer at Avila, and I told that I don't know, I don't have many hopes with whether I'm going to join because I'm applying for the companies, I'm giving them the interviews, but even in the final round, I get to say, no, you're either underqualified or because of your experience or you're overqualified for the positions, and we cannot go ahead. So I just told them very honestly. And the reply was very interesting. After 2 days, I heard back from them, and they said that we are happy that you were very honest with what you said, that I'm not having very high hopes, and we would like to have you on board. And I cannot still forget that day when that happened. I still get goosebumps just thinking about it, that how I felt after getting, because that is really important. And even when you ask, okay, what is the thing that you live, I think honesty really plays an important role. No matter whatever situation is, even if the situation is very difficult, I really believe it is the best thing just to be honest. Just say everybody. I think whenever you're feeling lost or whenever even I want to do something and I feel scared of, I just be honest and tell to the other person, I'm not feeling well. I don't know what I'm going to do, but definitely I'm going to do. I'm going to give my 100%, and I think that really plays a very important role, and especially for my current employer to trust me when I actually don't have a specific background in integration, but still trying to give the best. I think that might be the thing. And yes, always being really, really grateful. So this was one of the personal journeys that I had. Now, just moving to the scenario 2. Now, this is again one of the personal scenarios that I had. So when we moved, we wanted to buy a house. Now, this is again a very generic overview, just to see, okay, how, if we are encountering any problem, be it personal or professional, there are steps if we try to tackle them and try to act upon them in a way that helps, that is really cool in a way of understanding. And when you train your brain in that way, that okay, there are steps, whenever I see a problem, it becomes easy, so that whenever it is a big or a small problem or something that is so minuscule, it becomes really easy. So the scenario 2 was again, we were looking for buying a house. So we didn't know if we want to buy something that is in the city, and we don't want to. We didn't had any idea. Of course, it is difficult or it is expensive to buy any place in the country, in Oslo. So what we did an experiment that okay, let us live 1 month in the countryside and for 1 month in the core, and then just decided okay, what to do. So then for 1 month we left in Grunaloka, that is in the core, and for 1 month we went to Andalsnes just to see how it is. And the worst case scenario that we thought would be okay, the temperature is going to be really cold, we may find it difficult to adjust with the temperature. But what happened was we were stuck for almost a week without food, without supplies, because it was such an heavy snowfall there. We didn't encounter this. Okay, what to do now? Because when we lived for 1 month in Sri we didn't encounter any such sort of problem. All the grocery stores, everything were just a minute, 2 minutes away. So we didn't have to think about it. And now we were stuck in the, I still cannot forget that, though it was a very spectacular location that we were living in Dalsnes, it is indeed a very beautiful city. And we were inside the house, it was completely covered with snow, at least the gate was 80% covered, and we could not move out. We contacted the people that we were staying with, we were living in an Airbnb, and we told, okay, what are we supposed to do? And they were like, even we are stuck, but we need to have the groceries. And then we're like, okay, next time, now, whenever, no matter we live in Oslo or anywhere, we always ensure that we have the groceries in place. And this is again something so funny, something so small, that even such situations happen. But the best part is that it is always important to just be calm, just to see, okay, what are the possible solutions and act in a way. So then I deduced, it is not exactly me who deduced, but I was discussing this with one of my friends, and he suggested me, okay, maybe you have taken this approach. So I just tried to summarize that. Now, what are the learnings that I had from this both scenarios and from the professional scenarios that I had? Was it is always the lessons that I've learned was understanding understanding potential worst case scenario helps in planning proactive measures. It is always better to just counter in whatever worst is possibility, so that even when it comes, you are prepared for it to encounter, to resolve it. And importance of resilience, I think that is one of the things that both the stories have taught me, that emphasizing adaptability and continuous learning. It is always, definitely it was difficult when I was trying to look for my first job. It was difficult when we were stuck without supplies for a week in a country, and at a countryside where we don't know anyone. But still, I think even that kind of spontaneity really helps in growing. So that is really good. Now moving on to the now how to tackle this. This is again a common scenario. Okay, these are the problems, but how do we tackle it? So again, of course, take help. As I mentioned, that it is always better to ask for people. That Gabby also mentioned, it is really important when you're stuck. Don't just victimize yourself. That, okay, I'm stuck in this problem. I cannot move out of this problem. No, there is as there is a famous quote, that wherever there is a problem, there is a solution for that. So definitely, maybe you don't know it at this moment, but definitely once you seek out for help, people are going to help you. And this is one of the things that I've really learned over the years, but especially after coming to Norway, it is really important to ask the people if you don't know about anything. Don't ever feel in yourself, okay, maybe this is such a small question that if I ask, somebody is going to judge me. I think everybody has gone through that situations, maybe which we are encountering now. So it's always the best time, always the best thing to ask somebody for help. And coach. We don't simply say that all the best players, be it Ronaldo, be it anybody, they all have the coaches. Not only to just train them to become the best, but also to guide them in a way so that they can have a third eye perspective. Maybe I might be doing everything right at my end, or maybe I'm not trying to do anything wrong. But it is always important to have a third eye perspective to help you, to guide you, to tell you, okay, if you're doing something right, what is the technique, and if something is going wrong, what might be the reason. So it is always best to, if not possible, it is not necessary that you need to hire a coach, but at least have somebody as a mentor. Even in Norway, even during when I was hunting for the job, there is a policy in most of the companies that you can have one of the mentor, and it was the same for me. That when I joined, I had a mentor. So it is always easy when when you're moving to a new country, when you're moving to a new place, just have a mentor, just have a conversation with them, so your regular lives becomes really easy. And even in that situation, it is really easy when the problems that you're having might not be bigger, but eventually they may. So it is always better to have somebody who has experience in that. And the discomfort zone. The one thing that I've learned over the last 3 years was never be scared of any situation. It's fine, whatever is going to happen. The time is going to flow away, but it is really important to step out of that comfort zone. If I would have ever had a thought back, okay, now I'm not getting the job in Norway, Norway is not really good for me, it is not going to suit me, I think that was a possible solution, but that would have never brought me here where I'm standing now. This year has been the most special year for me. I was selected as top 50 women in tech in Norway. That was something, if I would have smiled with my inner child, not with my inner child, but the person that I was, or the situation I was 2 years ago, that I was not getting a job. And this year, when I was selected as top 50 women in tech Norway, it was truly an achievement, and it felt, okay, maybe something that I did was right. That is the reason I was selected. So I think that is really important, to let go of the struggles, but at the same time to have that belief in you that, okay, I will be doing it. Maybe I have the situation, but I can definitely overcome that. So discomfort zone is definitely important. And whenever you are having a difficult situation, don't take it as a burden, but always remember that it is an opportunity that you can outshine yourself. And the framework. So this is one of the things that I concluded both from my personal and my professional journey. So this is what one of my friends told me. It is called Steppe, and it simply means that whenever you have a problem, be it personal or be it professional, be it related to any scenario, any realm of your life, just stop, just think about what is the problem. Okay, how important it is. Do I even need to deal with it now, or is it just that it is in my mind? Plan, okay, how it is going to happen, what do I need to do, and then execute. So that is what STUP is about. So it is just a simple framework for prioritizing and planning the work, helping us to get the things done. So this could be applicable in any realm. This is also one of the framework that is followed in one of the company. I don't remember, but this is just again recommended was one of my friends. Yes, S means for stop. Just set aside whenever you encounter a problem, just relax for a bit, think about it. Okay. And again, this is really important to do this at an early stage so that whenever you have a problem, you know how important it is. Just find the drawback. Is it important to be solved, or is it just at the moment and it can be taken over later? So set aside the time in your calendar to plan ahead. The busier you are, the more important it is because you're always learning something new. Make sure to make stop only enough so that you have the time to proactively act upon it. Again, just don't be like, okay, I have a problem, I need to just start solving it. I think that never comes to a very wonderful solution. It is always when you give it a thought and when you act upon it, when you make a plan about it, you're definitely going to consider or pot in the worst case scenarios in it. Then think about it. What is the problem? Think through the current priorities, the projects and the work, and what is important, not just what is urgent, but also what is important. Take a break and use the time you need. This time is definitely well spent. Most of the times, whenever we talk about even the framework, for example, when we talk about safe, when we talk about agile, we always say that the time that you're going to devote for the initial meetings are definitely going to be fruitful, and even even the retros that we do after doing the project planning, after the implementation, they are always beneficial because then that act as an integrator that is going to help when you're doing the next project or when you're solving the next problem. It is always beneficial in that aspect. And then just prioritize whatever you want to do. If there is a task, just think about it. Okay, what needs to be divided in which way? So the goal should not be just to do as much as possible. Always, as we say, it is always quality over the quantity. So it is really important that you value the quality of the work that you're delivering rather than the quantity of the work that you give. Deciding not to do something is just as important as deciding what to do. It is not always important that you need to act on every problem of your life. It is always important what is something that is really going to make a difference. So for example, there might be something that is going on in everybody sitting here in the room. It might be that you want to get a job. It might be that you're not happy with your current employer. You want to switch to a new company. It might be something that you're not doing that maybe you wanted to do when you were a child. So it is always important to think about it. I would like to just ask the audience, do you have anything that you wanted to do and you are not doing it right now? Or is there any problem that is going on? It could be a very simple problem. For example, my tap is not working in my washroom. Even such a small problem to something that you're not happy with your employer or anything. Anyone would like to share? That's really wonderful. I think that's one of the second most difficult thing to get a driving license here. Thank you.
Any others?
Okay. And then, yes, the last second step is to plan. Knowing what you want to do is easy. The key or the main thing is you know how to do it. Just finding the solution for the problem is a different scenario, but no, to know the small steps that what needs to be done is equally important in the process. Write down whatever you need to do. Again, you could be either digital or you could be using any physical template. You can write it in your diary. For me, from last couple of days, I've been struggling just with this. I'm always confused. Okay, how do I do the segregation for my personal stuff or my professional stuff? Now, finally, I've made an app just for myself so that I know, okay, what are the professional commitments that I need to act upon and what are the personal commitments that I need to fulfill. So it is really important to find your your comfort thing, whether you want to write it in a diary or whether you want to use any application or something that you can do more rigorously. something that you can do more regularly. So that is really important. And be realistic and leave the room to deal with the unknowns. It is fine if you don't know anything, it is completely fine. Everybody is in that situation one day or the other, but it is important to actually recognize that there is something that is unknown and that is yet to be discovered in the process. And last but not the least, to execute. The E stands for execute here. Once you have the plan, don't put it away. Use it actively to ensure that you are on track. Deliver on the plan, and if you have time to do more, that is wonderful, that is great. Because when you have the steps to solve a problem, it becomes comparatively easy. It is more like a puzzle. Whenever you get a problem, you don't know, you have the parts, you have the solution, we just want to have everything in place, and there you go. So that is really important, that you just not make the plan and stick to it, just go and actually act upon it. So this was about the step model, and that is what I, if somebody asks me what would be one of the things that can help you solving the problem, this is something that I've tried. When somebody told me and I actually implemented it, actually worked. So this is what it could be derived upon. Now, what are the solutions if there are more worst case scenarios, even if we're falling stopping? If we are falling stopping and there could be again some more worst case scenarios, so how to help with them, how to tackle them? Plan early, that is the key. I think whenever we try to solve the unknowns, it is always important that if you want to do, for example, if you want to plan your week, if you want to do the plan your weekend, it is not that okay, you just do it on Friday. It is possible just to start from Wednesday, what you want to do in the further week, and just move on. So planning early is definitely a key. Call out for the blockers. This is specifically what I've learned over the time, in especially working in Norway, that it is always important that even if you are a manager or somebody who is directly related to it, it is important for them to have the complete overview of the picture. Even if you are doing something that is in your personal life or maybe in the professional sphere, it is always important that everybody who is involved in this is updated. And this is one of the feedback that I got from my client. I was working at Aker BP, and one thing, when they were asked about me, that what did they really like, and the answer was that we were always updated. We always knew what was happening, because once we start into getting into the process, we start solving the problem. It is possible that we may not inform the people who are actually looped into it, who are actually linked to it. So this is one of the a good professional tip, that it is always nice to be making your colleagues, making your managers well informed of what you're doing and what is the current progress, and be it even yourself, just to update yourself. Okay, I have planned this, but I don't know what is my current status, even if I have ever looked back on what needs to be solved. So that really plays an important role of calling out the blockers. And then the precise planning, the step-by-step detailed planning, that is really important, because we cannot just move ahead with the high-level overview. It is always important to factor in what is your availability, what is your focus, and what are the and even take in account the time that you're not going to spend, and if what is there is any emergency. So you need to factor in all the small details. And question meetings, it is always question. It is more sort of always question if you need to attend a meeting. Clarity with the organizer. Even so, with question meetings, it's what it is. Even in my life personally, I try to believe that whenever I'm trying to deliver something, it is really important that I know where I'm going. So it cannot be if I have a couple of events or if I have a couple of talks. It is important for me to see, okay, what quality I'm giving to people. It should be important for them as well as for me. So it is really important wherever it is not in terms of just meetings, but it is in terms of, okay, wherever you're devoting the time, do you think you're actually 100% into that? Or if it is not, even relaxing is really good thing. So it is not important that you always try to solve every problem. It is equally important to prioritize what is really urgent, and then question what I'm doing, is it even required, and if it is, what is the essence of that. And then reoccurring schedules. This is again like a tip that you can try, a reoccurring schedule, like a weekly review of your priorities. For example, you have set your goals. It could be anything. It could be going to gym, taking your medicines. Even such small things can be reoccurred. There is technology, of course, we can make a better use of it, or take out the most of it. That is one of the essence, that it is always important. So for me, when I was trying to figure out, there are some multiple myriad of tasks that I had. One was from social events that I want to do. One is from the professional aspect that I need to fulfill during my job. And the other the daily routine tasks, then some related to my personal life. So this becomes so my that it is really important to have the accountability and remember what is something that is important on a weekly basis, something on a daily basis, something on yearly basis. This really helps in your fixing your goals for the whole year, for the tenure, or for the time that you want to. And in the end, of course, do not rush with anything. It is really important to have a goal in life, like Gabby said, that you need to have what defines you. For example, if I have to ask you, amongst all of you, that okay, what is your goal? What is your purpose of life? So that is really important to have it defined. And definitely, even if you don't have it, it is fine. But it is really important to find it out that what serves you, what is your purpose of life. So do not rush about anything. Figure out the outcomes and the worst case scenarios and find the best optimal path for the problem. And the task, yeah. I won't leave you, but I would just want to give a final thought that think about a problem, be it any personal problem or a professional problem. Sometimes we forget to ask the questions to ourselves and accept the situation. So, for example, I mentioned you're not happy with your current employer. You may have some problems. Sometimes we just take it, okay, this is how life is, this is how it should be. Trust me, it is not. Everything that we do or everything that we have, it is in our control. It is not that somebody is going to come and change your life. It is just us who are responsible. If something good is happening, it is because of us. If it is something bad is happening, that is also on us. So that needs to be really taken care of. And this is at times due to the fact that we tried our best and accept the outcome. So that if it is good, that's wonderful. And even if it is not, we definitely should try to move and work on it. And the important thing that will always be that the task gets done and not that you do your best. There are some of the tasks that just needs to be done, should be practiced accordingly, and something that needs to be taken care of. And finally, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. This is the link, the QR code for the LinkedIn profile. Thank you so much for being such a patient and a lovely audience. Thank you so much.
See if anyone has a question right now, because I would also suggest if anyone have a question about the previous topics, because we kind of rushed a little bit through the question sections. So if you have a question to Ruchi or to Gabe or to myself, we'll just go on and raise your hand and I'll respond with Mike. Yeah, okay. No questions? All right. Then I have another suggestion, guys. So we will continue with the networking right now as far as everyone joins. So I'm hoping that everyone joins. We are gonna go to Trekanten, which is a venue against the street. So if you exit the building, it's just against the street. We will be there for half an hour or an hour after. So there's some food, some drinks, and feel free to join there, ask any personal questions. And actually, thanks a lot for presentation again. I totally relate to many things you said about work, about this overqualified, underqualified. Yes, I have the same issues, problems when I moved to Norway. And I think all of our kind of presentations give us some ideas what you can do, like psychologically, physically, mentally, or thoughtfully in ways, and make us a better person in the future. And also we can help each other, and let's continue this on networking. So thank you all for joining, and I hope to see you in our networking session. All right. Someone